Hi, I'm Marlon Wilson.
And my name is Michelle Wilson.
And we are M&M Film Talk. And we are here at day 3 at the Playhouse on the Square Indie Film Festival to hear how they pitch their film.
I tell you, this is one of the most exciting days. I'm excited. What about you, Marlon?
Well, I'm really excited because I want to see how they do it because we are directors and writers to know how to pitch your film.
Yes, and we're going to go in. They got 8 individual film writers that's come down from all over. So we're going to go in there, watch how they pitch their film, and then we're going to talk to them afterwards and just get some more insight on how they came about to do this and what we need to do as well.
All right, come on. Let's go in and watch them how they pitch their film.
I'm Ryan Watt. I'm the executive director of Indie Memphis. Welcome everyone to the Black Creators Forum Pitch Rally. So I want to first thank everyone that made this possible, and I'm going to bring Jason Farmer up, who's going to get the activities started for today. But first, the festival, for those of you that don't know, Duncan Williams Incorporated has been our presenting sponsor for 9 years. They're our foundation that makes this all possible, so please give them a round of applause. Last year, this event just gave me goosebumps, thinking of all these amazing movies that could be made in Memphis. We need more movies by Black filmmakers, more feature films that would then employ crew, cast, writers, other creatives. And we all just want to see the Memphis film scene blow up. And just the show Curves that just ended production that just ended last week. And so between that and Bluff City Law, there is a lot going on right now. And so this is the time to take it to the next level. I want to introduce Jason Farmer to get us going.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Jason Farmer. I'm a board member of Indie Memphis and also the founder, CEO of Black Lens Productions, which is based here in Memphis, Tennessee. And so Ryan and I started having conversations, I guess, a little bit over a year ago about how the genesis of the Black Creators Forum would kind of take shape and how Memphis was uniquely positioned to take advantage of the emerging opportunities in the film and TV landscape for Black creatives. And as we had that discussion, we thought no better place than Memphis. Quick quiz right quick before I give that information. Can somebody tell me the largest metropolitan area for Blacks in the United States?
Memphis.
Atlanta is wrong, Detroit is wrong. Memphis. Memphis is the largest majority Black county in the entire United States. Let's give ourselves a hand. So as Ryan mentioned earlier, we just wrapped a project. I guess really today was the official wrap. We completed the project. We have a Memphis. Is Sky Blair here today? So Sky Blair is from Memphis. She's a screenwriter, and she wrote a project called Curves. It's about 3 full-figured Black women who happen to live in Memphis, Tennessee, and she was able to convince Color Creatives and Issa Rae Productions and BET that her project should be shot here in Memphis. So they came here. Let's give ourselves a hand for that. So I see Tracy Comfort, I see Christy Taylor. If I'm missing somebody because these lights are blinding me, please forgive me. But we had the team from Memphis and Nashville was very well represented as a part of the production team with Issa Rae and Color Creative. And the pilot went off very well with BET. It's now in LA for post-production. And we're very excited that it'll be picked up for a regular series. So let's give ourselves a hand on that. And with that, we'll get started. Our first participants are a Memphis duo, Justin and Arielle Harrison, from Memphis, Tennessee.
Day 1.
Day 30.
Day 195.
Day 377.
Day 703.
What? What? What day? I'm gonna be a dad.
Yes!
I mean, who do we tell? Like, what do we do now?
Oh my gosh, like years and weeks. But starting with drops of blood, she miscarried. 1 out of 6 couples deals with infertility. That's the inability to conceive a child after trying for a year. And roughly 20% of known pregnancies end in miscarriage. My name is Arielle Harrison.
My name is Justin Harrison, and our film is called La Petite Mort.
The Little Death. This story follows a young African-American couple in Memphis, Camille and Keyshawn. They love each other, they're married, they're vibrant, but on their professional lives, Keyshawn's dealing with racial inequality in his job, and on a personal level, this couple is struggling with miscarriage and infertility. Camille is a vibrant, get-it-done type of woman, but she struggles because she can't even do something as simple as conceiving a child.
Keyshawn is a very loving, hard-working young man, but his pride is wounded due to the undervalue and underpay stemming from the glass ceiling placed above him and people of color at his job. That, coupled with the fact of their inability to conceive a child, brings him down really low, and he's constantly frustrated, but he tries to remain strong for his wife.
Days become daggers for this couple. It's a constant reminder of what they've yet to achieve, which is a child. They try everything, the supplements, the herbs, the old wives' tale, and they can't seem to conceive, and the people around them move on with their lives. Everyone else is having children, and they just feel stuck. When they finally do conceive a child and get pregnant, they are elated. But 8 weeks later, that pregnancy ends in a miscarriage. Now this couple has to navigate grief, pulling closer to one another and not pulling apart, and just enduring and persevering through this struggle.
Stories like this are underrepresented on the big screen, and we believe stories like this need to be told. I'm a filmmaker born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. Go Tigers. Last year, I had a short film called I Can't that premiered here at the Indie Memphis Film Festival, written by this beautiful young lady right here. She also wrote this one. We are very passionate about this project, and we believe this $10K can go towards actors, DP, location, sound, equipment, lens rolls. Everything needs to be hometown talent, because the talent is here. Everybody, we know that Memphis is plentiful in talent.
And we need all of these positions, and we know 10K can't do everything, but it's going to be a great jump start to it. And so if you're in the room, please reach out to us after this screen. Our socials are going to be up there. You can add us. And if you're an actress, an actor, DP, any of those things, reach out. We'd love for you to be a part of this. In a room this size, the issues that I just described are represented, either by you personally or from someone you know. What we want to do is we really want to do this film to spark a conversation, to just erase the taboo, and really just have a dialogue around these issues. And as well for the people that have experienced these issues, we would love for them to be able to see something on the big screen that they can relate to on a personal, deep level.
Yes, and this film is very, very, very important to us, and it hits home really hard for us because it's our story. Thank you.
My 13-year-old daughter often reminds me, Daddy, you have blank spots on your brain. So I was having one of those blank spots and I forgot to introduce the judges. So our judges are Ms. Elle Perry, a reporter for the Daily Memphian. You see her right back here. Elle is a reporter for the Daily Memphian. Her bylines have appeared in the Memphis Business Journal, the Memphis Flyer, High Ground News, Inside Memphis Business, Style Blueprint Memphis, Tri-State Defender, Number, Inc., New City, Next City, and more. Ms. Elle Perry. Our next judge, Mr. James Armfield. You see him right beside her. James currently serves as a senior vice president at New Memphis, a leadership development organization. In that role, he oversees the varied leadership development programs that New Memphis offers. James is also currently the director of Nexus Connect, a program of Nexus leaders that seeks to provide professional mentoring and leadership development opportunities for professionals in various fields. James has extensive experience consulting mentoring and coaching executives, producers, and financiers within the film business. He has consulted on various projects both and has helped connect many moving parts within the various parts of the film industry. James and his wife, Melanie, are also Indie Memphis support patrons. Mr. James Armfield. And our last judge is Mr. Richard Cummins Jr. He's seated right back here with the New York baseball cap on. Richard Cummins Jr. is a director, producer, and actor best known for his roles in the film Hollywood Shuffle and the Emmy Award-winning shows 30-Something and Northern Exposure. More recently, Cummins has worked with Robert Townsend at the nonprofit One Economy Corporation. Our next contestant pitching today is Miss Jamie Hatley from Memphis, Tennessee.
Thank y'all for coming. Y'all could be anywhere today, and you're here. My name is Jamie Hatley, and I'm here because a house in history haunted me. I used to work and look out the back door of this tumble-down Victorian, and it wound into my imagination like kudzu, and it inspired the screenplay that I am writing, the Eureka Hotel. That treatment was selected by Barry Jenkins for the Black Screenwriter Fellowship, of which I'm the first local winner, and I have to finish it in December, so you will have an actual script. The Eureka is kind of a combination of American gods because I use African American folk magic, American Horror Story for the gothic details, and also East Bayou for the richness of place. And my place is Memphis, and also character. So this tumble down place was actually a hotel run by a famous conjure woman. And so whenever I tell the story of this place, they say, oh, that must be Louisiana. That must be, that sounds like a voodoo tale. But I'm like, no, in Memphis, we have hoodoo, and it's secret. So it takes place in this kind of Afro-surreal Memphis that you don't see, the story under the story. But this is an actual photograph of the Lorraine, which was another hotel in Memphis, a more famous hotel. And this is a janitor actually scooping up Dr. King's blood after he was assassinated. This is the image that you know. That's the image that you don't. They're pointing towards where the shot came from the assassin, but they could be pointing to the Eureka. It was just 2 blocks over from the Lorraine. So, what's it about? My protagonist is the mysterious landlady who ran the Eureka. She comes back into the squalor of the sanitation strike. One of her proteges has taken her place while she's gone, and no white people are supposed to be in the Eureka, but she's let in a white man. We find out later this white man is James Earl Ray, Dr. King's assassin. So the story takes place in the intersection, the well-known history of the Lorraine and the invented history of the Eureka that's almost gone. The building of the Eureka is gone, but there's a magnolia tree that still stands on the lot. So when we talk about folk magic, black people's magic, it's always evil. It's always dark. My film centers women. It's a story about empowerment. These practices came over with us during the slave trade with our tribe and managed to endure. So it takes the magical Negro trope and flips it on its head. Because Memphis is full of magical Negroes, but the magical Negroes in my story, we work for us. We work for our own power, our own empowerment, and sometimes our pettiness. I've already made a short film called Always Open, the Eureka Hotel, with an almost complete black staff and crew from Memphis. A lot of them are in this room. Woo woo. I thought I was just going to write it, but I ended up, director fell away, so I directed and produced it and screened it on Wednesday at Indie Memphis, and it's in competition in the narrative shorts. But the landlady is greedy. The landlady wants this story to be a bigger story. Memphis has so many stories that are bigger to be told, but we need help. Memphis has the talent. some of the best actresses, makeup artists, everybody. We're here, but we don't have the infrastructure, right? But look at this Exalted. This is in a park. Y'all drive by, it's right down the street from here, right? So we have all of that. $10,000, movies are expensive, but I'm a member of the Writers Guild. I'm already represented by an agent. I'm ready, but we have to show our work. $10,000 would allow me to make a proof of concept. So when I have my tight script, we can actually show people what Memphis is. And so there's a saying in Memphis, get with me or get left, because we're going. We're getting in the car and we're going to the Eureka Hotel. So thank you so much.
Our next contestant is Mr. Zuff Idris from Los Angeles. Give him a hand as he comes up.
My name is Zuff. I'm a filmmaker originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, but currently based in LA. So me and my slides don't exactly get along, so please bear with me. So the theme of the project that I'll be sharing with you today is intelligence. More specifically, I'm interested in interrogating the way that we as filmmakers represent geniuses on screen. So if I could, I'd like to ask y'all to just take a moment and call to mind someone who you consider to be one of history's greatest geniuses. And can't give you that long because I got 5 minutes, but if you thought of someone like Toni Morrison or Benjamin Banneker or Mae Jemison, that wouldn't surprise me because we are in Memphis after all, but I think more likely, if this was a less specific audience, we would think of people like Albert Einstein, Stephen Hawking, and Nikola Tesla. We're also in a really tech-obsessed era, so maybe Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, and what is it that all those men that I named have in common? Every single one of those men has been depicted on screen by Benedict Cumberbatch. And yeah, that's just a joke, but if you start to dig into the genre just a little bit, it really stops feeling like a joke. So I'm thinking of films like A Beautiful Mind or The Imitation Game, The Theory of Everything. The list, this is a small selection, the list goes on and on and on. And on the rare occasion that we do get films that are about black geniuses, that's in the next slide, it's films like Green Book or Hidden Figures or The Soloist, or I think Finding Forrester is on there too. And I know as black audiences, we're not monolithic by any means, but I think a lot of us dislike those films, if only for the fact that they inevitably employ the white savior trope, wherein there's always some white character that's responsible for discovering and or qualifying the genius of the black protagonist. And so having identified that deficit in representation in this genre, I think I have the space to introduce the project that I've been working on, which it was selected as a finalist in the Black Screenwriter Residency, so shout out to Indie Memphis, Miriam Bale, Bridget, all of y'all, thanks for that. So it's about the plot of the film, it's an anthology film that follows 5 black genius protagonists. It's called Intelligentsia. And the reason that it's structured that way as an anthology film is because I'm really not convinced that the solution to the issue of black representation is as straightforward as replacing white faces with black faces. I think a more ambitious and, dare I say, a more radical approach is to attempt at redefining the concept of genius itself to better suit the needs of our communities. And so the theoretical backbone of the film, if you will, is the work by Dr. Howard Gardner, who's a developmental psychologist, who's famous in his field for what he calls the theory of multiple intelligences. So basically in it, he delineates 8 or 9, maybe 10 at this point, distinct forms of intelligence exhibited by human beings. And so each of the protagonists in the film they typify one or maybe a lot of them a combination of those intelligences as described by Dr. Gardner. So the way the film is structured is in the first half, we see each of the protagonists, we see vignettes of them during their childhood and what gifts they have, and then in the second half of the film, we revisit each of them as adults to see what those talents have yielded for them in this world that celebrates some form of intelligence, but ignores others or fetishizes or exploits those. And so these are some of the films that I'll be drawing on for inspiration. If you know any of these, you'll know that it'll be sort of a neo-realist or social realist kind of a style, which lends itself to the low budget that I hope to keep for this film, which is my producer and me, where we expect that to need about $50K to get through principal photography on this. And our DP is a Memphis native, so we do expect to be able to honor the aesthetic of the city. So if any of you geniuses out there are interested in seeing Black brilliance without white validation, if you agree with me that the concept of brilliance itself could stand to be a little more democratic, please consider supporting this project. Please get in touch with me. Thank you. Thanks.
Our next contestant this afternoon is Ms. Raven Jackson from New York.
Hi, beautiful people. How are you? Good, thank you. So the project I'm here to talk about today is All Dirt Road's Taste of Salt. I'm writer and director of the project, and it's my debut narrative feature. I'm currently based in New York, but I'm originally from Clarksville, Tennessee, so Tennessee represent. I'm so happy to be here at Memphis to pitch this film. All Dirt Road's Taste of Salt lyrically explores the life of a Black woman in Tennessee through portraits or vignettes of her life at different stages and experiences. And each portrait of her is intentionally placed where it is in the film to build an emotional arc rather than a traditional narrative one. The film seeks to be an evocative, visceral, and sensorial viewing experience for the audience, like water through fingers. In essence, the film is a meditation on the profound and the mundane, and the moments and how events from youth are often mirrored in adulthood. The film will strategically find moments of transition, whether through sound, texture, image, or emotion, to spill one portrait of Mac into another. Two major anchors for the film are Mac's loss of her mother at a young age, and subsequently her relationship to motherhood. The film also explores her leaving to the military and years later returning. What is it like to leave and return to a place? That's a question of the film. Though this is a fiction film, it's very much rooted in truth too. One moment I remember from my childhood is watching my mother walking me around the house and really seeing her for the first time and seeing the body for the first time. And that has now become a portrait of Mac watching her own mother in the film. Throughout the screenwriting process, I've been interviewing family members, especially women family members, and pulling details and experiences from those interviews and pouring them into the script. So in many ways, this film, All Dirt Road's Taste of Salt, is a love letter to an important woman in my life. All of these photos you're seeing are photos I've taken, and they're during research for the project. I plan to shoot the film on 2perf 35mm, which lives in between 16 and 35. I really want to shoot on film because I feel the sparks of light, the evocative texture of film speaks to the loose texture of memory I want the film to sit inside. I have a background of shooting on film. My most recent short, Nettles, was shot on 16. And also I plan to bring the key crew from that film onto All Dirt Road's Taste of Salt. My producer, Maria Altamirano, and my DP, Jomo Frey, who actually shot Zella on the stage, which is playing here at the festival. And some creative references for the project include textural, tonal, or editing references include Julie Dash's Daughters of the Dust, Ramel Ross's Hale County This Morning, This Evening, Lynn Ramsey's short film, Small Deaths, as well as Carlos Regatas' film, Silent Light. The budget is $320,000. We're currently in late stages of script writing and early stages of development/financing with the aim to shoot late summer in 2020. We have been lucky enough to get some recognition for the project. As mentioned before, Barry Jenkins selected it for the Indie Memphis Black Filmmaker Residency in Screenwriting, which we're so grateful for. We also participated in IFP Week this year, and we were one of 5 projects selected for San Sebastian International Film Festival's Kusmira Bariak residency program. And we also received a fall 2018 SF and I pitched the project at New Orleans last year, and we were awarded a post package. And so even though, we've gotten recognition and support, there's still a long way to go. It's still early days. And so this support would not only, further build momentum, but it would also be able to practically go towards casting, location, as well as travel for the film. And so there's no other film that could be my first feature. Every photograph I've taken, film I've made, or poem I've written has led me to this film's feet. And I'm so excited that I got to share it with you all today, and thank you all.
Wow. So, you see the breadth of talent that we have from Memphis and coming into Memphis. So let's give all of our contestants another round of applause.